Hey, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy A34 5G up against the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. But make sure you guys stay locked in to the end of the video because I want to talk about like the major differences between these two smartphones. Obviously, the A34 5G is a little bit older, and so yeah, I want to talk about how it compares up against the newer budget smartphone, the A16, and talk about, what I think about both of these phones when it comes to comparing each one against the other. So make sure you guys stay locked in to the end of the video. If you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through if you're new. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these phones as far as the hardware. And first, we're going to go ahead and open up the boxes. So there's not much for the unboxing experience with both. You actually do get a charging cable inside the A16, which is going to be provided right inside this this thing right here. So once you open it up, you get your SIM remover tool. Then you also do get your charging cable right here, which is going to be Type-C. So it's going to be Type-C to Type-C. And so it comes with your user guide as well as some additional paperwork like terms and conditions. So that's basically everything that's coming inside of the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. So in the A34 5G, you're actually going to get this plastic. They didn't do the recycle yet, but they actually give you the same exact thing. So they give you your, cables right here. That's Type-C to Type-C. They also give you your, SIM remover pin. And then you're also going to get the pamphlet for terms and conditions. So it's basically the same exact unboxing experience. Now, as far as the hardware on both smartphones, it's going to be basically very similar. You're going to get plastic backs on the back of each smartphone. So they are going to give you the same triple camera setup, but there's going to be slightly different camera setups, which I'll get into. So this one is actually going to give you rounded corners on the A34 5G, whereas so right here it's kind of rounded off. It's not completely flat on the sides, but on the A16 it's actually going to be completely flat. And so yeah, they both have that really nice curved corner. So you do get that corner. You can see I kind of dropped the A34 on the corner right here, but they're giving you those rounded corners. But this one's a little bit more curved when it comes to the edges. You also get your SIM removal slot right here up top. Microphones are both on top for both, but the SIM removal tool is on the left when it comes to the A16. Turning them to the other side, this is a big difference. You're going to see this little ledge which is going to go up, and then you get your fingerprint sensor on the A16 and then the volume rocker, and then it curves back down, whereas this one is completely flat, but you also do get the button right here for your power button and your volume rocker right here. And this one actually does offer a in-display fingerprint sensor when it comes to unlocking it, whereas this one actually has the side-mounted fingerprint sensor on here. And then on the bottom, they're pretty much similar, except one of the things is that the A34 is going to have dual speakers, whereas the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G is only going to have single firing speaker, but you're going to get Type-C, and the microphone and speaker port are positioned in the same spot, but this is like a little slit right here, whereas this one gives like a vented kind of look. So yeah, they kind of updated the look and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much both are really good when it comes to, as far as the width, they feel almost exactly the same in width. But as far as the height, that's where you're going to get a bigger device with the 6.7 inch on the Samsung Galaxy A16 versus the I think it's like 6.6 inches on the Samsung Galaxy A34 5G. All right, so let's talk about some of the specs with these ones. So obviously the A34, if I actually get a nice wallpaper here, which is going to be a little bit brighter, you're going to notice that we do get better edge to edge, bezels. So it's got like that thin chin on the bottom, which is really nice. On the Samsung Galaxy A16, you're going to notice a bigger chin, which is something that you should, keep, just keep in mind that it's going to have a bigger chin on this one. So, slightly bigger chin and bezels when it comes to the A16, but overall, they're both going to be AMOLED panels, which is also going to be really nice when it comes to the viewing experience. And I'll show you that side by side. But as far as the hardware, you're actually getting, IP rating, which is going to be really solid for the Samsung Galaxy A30. Actually, the A16 has IP rating. So I really think that's a nice improvement when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy A16. So they give you the IP dust and waterproof on this one as well, which is going to be really nice. So it's IP54 rating, which is going to allow you to get, this phone in dust, and it's still going to be able to perform very well, even if it gets put in dust or dirt or anything like that. Now, so yeah, I definitely like that about this phone, is that they did improve it when it comes to that. And you also do get water resistance with this one right here, the A34. But one of the things is that they don't offer, I don't think they offer the dust proof on this one. So they do give you a water resistance on this one. So yeah, that's going to be pretty solid for the A34 as well. But just keep in mind, you do get AMOLED panels on both of these devices, which look absolutely gorgeous when it comes to the viewing experience, and we'll jump into that in just a second. But you're gonna get, as far as the specs, you get 6 GB of RAM on this one right here. So wait, let me show you something real fast. If I go into device care and I go right here, you can see inside of memory, they actually do give us 6 GB of RAM, which is going to definitely be noticeable when it comes to performance and doing multitasking and opening up apps. I just noticed that 2 GB of RAM helps it push through whatever it's trying to get through. And then you also do get the RAM Plus with 4, 4, or 6 extra of RAM, virtual RAM, and I have it on the 4 extra. So yeah, with the A16, you actually do get 4 GB of RAM. They both have 124 GB of ROM. And so yeah, the A16 is going to give you the up to 2 or 4 GB of RAM plus. So just make note of that you will get like a slightly faster CPU when it comes to, well, actually much faster CPU when it comes to the A34, which I really do like. And so yeah, it's going to be able to perform great when it comes to performance on this one right here. But the A16 actually still holds up very well in comparison. But let me just correct myself. The A34 is actually IP67, which is going to be a little bit more durable than the A16, which is IP54. So yeah, they both have that IP rating. I just wanted to correct myself and let you guys know that they both offer the IP rating, which is going to be solid when it comes to, taking this phone outdoors. Obviously, they're both going to have some really good viewing experiences, which we'll jump into in just a second. But yeah, as far as the hardware, it's actually pretty solid. I really do like the dual speakers on the A34, as well as the extra 2 GB of RAM on there. So talking about displays real fast, I just want to show you, the fingerprint sensor is obviously a little bit quicker. Let me show you real quick. 1, 2, 3. So a little bit quicker on the A16 just because it's a physical fingerprint, but they also do have, the in-display on the A34, which I really do like, fingerprint sensor. So they're both giving you super AMOLED displays. The A16 is going to have a 19:9 aspect ratio, whereas the A34 5G is going to have a 20:9 aspect ratio, both full HD plus 1080x2400. The A16 is going to have 2340, which is almost 2400, pixel density. And then they both have 385 on the A16 when it comes to pixels per inch versus 399 pixels per inch on the A34. So it's going to be a little bit more punchier when it comes to the colors and the resolution on the A34. And then the other difference is that if we go into settings, you're going to see that if we go into display, which I want to show you right now, I just want to show you that the display, this A34 is absolutely fast, as smooth as butter, and so is the A16. When you optimize it, they both run really good. You can see the brightness is all the way up, and I have the motion smoothness 90 hertz on the A16 right here on the right, and 120 hertz refresh rate on the A34. So it's going to be a little bit better when it comes to scrolling, as well as the animation speed on the the A34. The other thing I did see on the spec sheet is that they both have Gorilla Glass 5, which I'm assuming on both. That's the only thing I could find, is that they have Gorilla Glass. I'm not sure exactly if I can confirm that, but on the website that I'm looking at it definitely trying to verify that, it does say that the A34 is going to have scratch resistant glass, and then it does say that the A16 has Gorilla Glass 5. So I'm not quite sure if that's accurate, but I just wanted to mention that both glasses are pretty durable as well. So I just wanted to show you the speaker quality real quick. I'm going to put the microphone up to the Samsung Galaxy A34 real quick, and let's hear the audio. So you do get dual speakers, one at the top, one at the bottom. It sounds really good. This is the microphone test, so I'm showing you right here that it does go up to 2160 frames, which is going to look really gorgeous when it comes to the visuals. This is one of the best phones when it comes to visuals and overall quality. For that Super AMOLED panel is going to look absolutely crystal clear. So let me do the same thing for the Samsung Galaxy A16. Let's turn the volume all the way up. And you're not getting the dual speakers on the A16 right here, but you are getting the 1080 60 frames per second. And so you're going to notice that the visuals are going to be almost as crystal clear and very sharp and detailed, but you're not going to get the same audio experience when it comes to the Dolby Atmos on the speakers. This A34 actually uses Dolby Atmos out of the speakers, whereas the A16 is only going to let you use that when it comes to the headphone jack and a plug Type-C cable for headphones. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. Let's look at them side by side. I'm going to turn the volume down on both just so that we don't hear any audio. We could just look at the visual. So 1, 2, and 3. So let's expand those displays, and this is what it's going to look like on both displays. They actually look really crazy side by side. The colors are really sharp and detailed, and I did notice that the image is a little bit more, it's bigger on the A34. Like this is depicting bigger images than this one is depicting. I'm not sure why, but I'm showing you right now that the image is a little bit bigger when it's depicted on the A34. So you can see it's a little bit more blown up than on the A16. So they both do support a slot for SD or SIM card, which is really cool. They're also going to actually have gyroscopes, fingerprints, light sensors, accelerometers, and the ultrasonic proximity sensor. The Dolby speakers and Atmos is going to be on the A34, but as far as the A16, you're going to need to plug in a headphone jack to get, or through the Type-C cable to get that Dolby Atmos quality. As you can see, it's activated on the A34, but on the A16, it's actually asking for a plug-in to actually connect that. So this A34 is going to be superior in a few different ways that I did mention already before. When it comes to the RAM, obviously the display is going to be a little bit more, has more pixels per inch, and it has better bezels when it comes to the overall viewing experience. But I kind of wanted to do a quick speed test, clear out all the apps, and show you guys real quick what that's going to look like. So Bible app 123. And the A34 got that one by a hair. Let's do Amazon store real quick. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to be the A16 got that by a slight hair. So yeah, you can see they're going back and forth. As far as snappiness, it does feel like the A34 does have a slight advantage. Let's do IG 1, 2, 3. And then that's going straight to the A34 in comparison. Let's go to Meta. Let's do Meta real fast and kind of compare that. Let's do a few more apps after this. So Meta 1, 2, 3. That's going to go to the A16 on this one. So that was the A16 when it comes to it. Obviously, the A34 is going to have better multitasking. Let's do Spotify 1, 2, 3. And that looks like it's going to be going to that was a dead tie on both of these phones, which was very surprising. I really liked that test so they're pretty nose to nose. We'll talk about the processing chips in just a second. Let's do the Google Play Store 1, 2, 3. And that was the A34. So yeah, as far as the speed test, I'm definitely going to say that the A34 is a little bit faster. Now, when it comes to price, you can still get the A34 for about $289, and you can get the A16 on sale for $174, but it's usually $199. And so the prices are still going to be pretty good. Obviously, you're going to get 25 watts support for charging the A34 when it comes to the charging speeds. They both have 5,000 milliamp per hour batteries. And so that they're both going to charge really fast with the 25 watts fast charge, which is going to be also included. So yeah, they definitely tout super fast charging. The Samsung Knox as well, which is also going to be a solid thing also. So yeah, the 25 watts fast charging is still really good on both of these devices. So, you know, that's going to be pretty equal when it comes to the overall battery life and charging speed. Now, the A34 has a main shooter, which is a 48 megapixel. We have a 50 megapixel on the A16. And then they also both have 5 megapixel wide angle cameras with 2 megapixel portrait on the A16 and a 5 megapixel portrait on the A34. And then on the front, they're both going to have that 13 megapixel camera. So yeah, I guess we can, you know, take a look at the cameras for a second. And one of the things I was surprised at is that the A16 allows you to actually flip the camera when you're in video mode. So I'm going to show you right now. If I hit record on both of these devices, let me see if the A34 got the update real fast. But I just wanted to see if, yeah, they both are recording in full HD right now. But you can obviously see that we have Ultra HD, which is 4K on the A34, whereas we only have full HD 30 frames per second on the A16. So you get 4K on the A34, which is solid, and 1080 30 frames per second on the A16. So if I hit record on both, there actually is a button that you can flip both of the cameras while you're recording, and that comes with the update for the February 2024 patch. So I definitely like that feature when it comes to both of these phones. I'm glad that Samsung allows you to do that on both phones now. And so you can see that we have portrait, we have photo mode right here, we have video mode, which I showed you the features, and then we have more. And the A34 is going to have slightly more features like super slow motion, which I noticed it has. And it also does have one other feature that I did notice, which is going to be single take. But other than that, they have the same exact features on here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to on both. Let's just do a quick camera comparison. I'm going to actually get Naruto to be the subject right here. This is the A16. Wow, that looked really good. And then this is the A34. And that looked really good. So let's go ahead and compare them with the same aspect ratios. And yeah, the A16 does appear to have sharper quality with that 50 megapixel camera that it's using. Now let's take a quick selfie on both just so I could show you the portraits. So I was looking towards the A34, and so you're probably going to see that I'm looking away on the A16, but yeah, the A16 does a slightly better when it comes to my skin complexion. So yeah, I kind of like the A34, the A16 when it comes to taking shots on my face and on the rear as well. So the A16 5G is actually using the Samsung Exynos 1330, and it's a 5nm built processing chip, which is going to offer you some pretty decent performance. So if you go into the graphics, you're going to see that we're on smooth and high, maxed out when it comes to the best, quality right here. So let me just show you how smooth. It's actually pretty smooth right now. I haven't seen any stutters or anything like that. So yeah, the overall smoothness is really good. It does seem to be pretty responsive. Very quick, and when it comes to the operation, so yeah, very fast. I don't think you're gonna have an issue whatsoever when it comes to gaming on this device. So yeah, if you're looking to game on here, it's gonna be pretty good. It's not gonna be terrible, and I haven't noticed any lag right now. So yeah, it does a pretty good job when it comes to processing the speeds on this 5nm built processing chip. So obviously you can, game on here without any issues whatsoever. So would I recommend this one for gaming? For the price, it's actually pretty decent. It's not gonna be the best in this price point. You can probably pick up something better, but yeah, it's still manageable when it comes to, gaming on this device. So yeah, I could say that it's pretty good. Let me see if I could catch a kill real fast. So I did notice one stutter, but that's just from the loading of the graphics. But other than that, yeah, this phone seems to be just fine when it comes to gaming. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. But let's check out the A34 5G so I can show you how that one will look in comparison to this one. All right, so when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy A34 5G, I'm noticing a much smoother experience on here. It just feels way more responsive. It feels immediately, whatever I'm doing on the screen with my finger is immediately being registered to the AMOLED panel. And another thing is that those dual speakers definitely help when it comes to gaming, because you don't cover up the bottom one with your palm. You can still hear this one when you're gaming. So that's another benefit, but this has the Dimensity 1080. So if I go to graphics, it's actually extreme and smooth, which is better than high and smooth compared to the A16 5G. And so if you could pay an extra $100, maybe one extra $110, you're gonna notice a night and day difference when it comes to gaming. This one just feels way better as far as performance. I feel like if you were to use this one, you wouldn't have any issues competing with people who might be using a flagship phone. So I'm trying to see right now if I can hear any enemies. But yeah, this is a much better experience automatically. Just picking this up, it just feels a lot smoother when it comes to the overall gaming. And overall graphics as well. Speeds feel a lot quicker. Touch response seems a lot more accurate. And the speakers and sound definitely sound better. So yeah, that's my take when it comes to graphics and overall gameplay. So if you're looking for a gaming phone, I could definitely recommend this one way more over the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. In my opinion, the Dimensity 1080 is going to do a much better job when it comes to gaming. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is updates. And so it's going to be pretty good for both. When the Samsung Galaxy A34 was released, it was actually the Android 13 that it came out with. And so it was promised 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches. So they're both on Android 14 right now. And you can see that the A34 is at February 1st and the Samsung A16 5G is at January 1st, even though it's the newer phone. So yeah, I just want to mention that I got an update on my Samsung Galaxy A34 5G before doing this video, updated to February 1st, whereas it's a little bit behind on the A16 5G. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that the Samsung Galaxy A34 5G is going to get Android 17 with those 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, which will make it supported up to 2028. Whereas this Samsung Galaxy A16 5G is going to get 6 years of security patches. So it's going to be Android 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So it's going to be supported to 2020. Not 2020, 2000. And so yeah, you get Android 20 on this one. And then 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So this one's going to be updated to 2031, which sounds really crazy. Whereas this one's going to be updated to 2028, but it's going to actually get Android 20 and this one's going to get Android 17. So I could definitely say both of these devices are going to be heavily supported for years to come. But I definitely would recommend getting the A34 5G just for the dual speakers. Also, you also get, a better display when it comes to the edge-to-edge panel and gaming performance. But they're both going to give you similar features like NFC. Obviously, you won't get the Dolby Atmos on the A16, but you're also going to get always-on display on the A34, whereas you don't get always-on display on the A16. And so yeah, I definitely think there are a lot of advantages when purchasing the A34 over the A16, but the A16 still holds incredible value that I think would be really good for most users. And so one of the things I noticed is that you get screen recorder on the A34, and I don't see the screen recorder on the A16, but they both do offer Smart View, which is definitely a helpful feature when it comes to using both of these guys. So yeah, no screen recording on the A16 as well. So let me know what you guys think about this overall comparison. If you're still here, just type in the comment section. I'm still here, so I know you're still kicking it with me. And I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people. And I'll hit you back. I'll check you guys later. Namaste.